Oh no.
Bum 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 bum.
Instant DMCA. All right. Good podcast, guys. We're canceled.
But not canceled in like the really bad way, just this kind of bad way.
I mean, any kind of way is pretty bad.
Yeah, I guess it's not good to be canceled.
No, but someone canceled that at the update. I'm kind of surprised though.
This isn't a political podcast, but I'm pretty upset.
I know.
about
I'm not
it.
saying anything about politics. I don't think he's ever
Yeah.
been in politics.
He's never run for office. All right, welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. Just for the record, none of us would vote.
He paid for Martin Luther King's PA that he gave this speech at the Washington Monument, or the Lincoln Memorial, I mean.
None of us would vote for Bill Cosby. Let's just get that out in the open.
But Bill Chappelle. Dave Chappelle actually has a bit about that. Chris played it for me earlier.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
actually have to listen to that.
All right. Well, I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have gorgeous Ben Reynolds.
Yeah.
And the tenacious Tim Rackeneye Miller.
Hello.
And thankfully, not Bill Cosby. Coming up on Hard Reset this week.
That can be arranged. I can go get him. He's right outside.
Oh, why is Bill Cosby at your house?
I don't know, man. It's scaring me.
He just showed up there after he got out of jail.
Yep.
I'm going.
First place he went. I was very scared.
Do you have the pudding pops?
No.
Okay.
No. He's not supposed to know about those.
All right. Well, coming up on Hard Reset this week, we're going to be wrapping up our E3 reactions. And depending on time, depending on how quickly we get through that, we might be talking about a couple of Sony acquisitions that have both been confirmed and not confirmed. But before we get to all that.
And denied, as you might say.
And not denied. Just, we shouldn't have said that kind of thing. But before we get to all that, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Ben, tell me what you've been playing.
2K21. I went back in and decided it's time to win me a championship.
Back to that well.
Oh yeah, I need that. I need to get that chip.
You go back to that game periodically throughout the year, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's just yesterday I felt like playing video games, and I was about ready to launch into some Far Cry again, and then I was just like, I don't really feel like playing Far Cry. I feel more like playing a sports game. And 2K just happened to be the one that struck my interest.
Okay, and do you buy you bought 2K on Xbox this year, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I buy it on Xbox every year.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
haven't bought it on PlayStations. The first couple on the
PS4
newer system. Yeah.
Nice. Well, and how is it? How's it going back to, what is very familiar territory for you at this point?
Oh, it's fun still. It's just 2K. It's a fun.
You know it pretty well at this
game
point.
that I like to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. Tim, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
I dove back into Saints Row the Third Remastered.
The best Saints Row.
I 100% agree. I haven't gotten that far. I've only been playing for a few hours, but it's reminded me how good it was.
Did you choose the zombie voice?
No.
No. Why?
It's not my character this time. I'm not making a zombie. I'm going to kill zombies eventually once they infect half the town. But,
All right, fair enough.
I remember liking 2 better than that one.
Really?
I did not get very into that one.
That is not a very popular opinion. That's why do you prefer 2? Do you remember?
2
it
is
was a while
good,
ago.
though.
I just remember enjoying it more. I remember I started 3, I think because you suggested, it to me like a while after it had come out, and I played it for a while and was just like, yeah, this just feels like more of two, which like I don't know that I necessarily wanted, which I just felt like two was like I guess two still felt a little bit like GTA ish, which without like while it was still bordering on the absurd, it
Yeah.
didn't just completely embrace the absurd like the
3
Two,
was when it
third
went
one
out the
really feels
window.
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
2 was kind of their last attempt at, okay, we're going to be GTA on the 360 and the PS3 before GTA is on the 360 and the PS3. They did that with Saints Row 1, and then they tried to do it again with 2, and they like tried to get a little bit wackier with 2, but not nearly as much as they leaned into it with 3 and 4. But it's interesting to me that you prefer those more straightforward ones, Ben, than 3 and 4. Because you're so into
I don't
GTA.
know. I guess that if I want to play a game that's like silly like that, I think of like uh what Dead Rising
Dead
or
Rising,
something
Just
like that
Cause.
kind of. Yeah, well, and Just Cause isn't even really necessarily that silly. Like the gameplay is just kind of silly. It's not necessarily quite as like just purely silly.
Just Cause is more like Bollywood silly, where you're like riding a nuke
Yeah.
as the climax. It's not like just like Bollywood. I'm not super familiar with Bollywood, but it seems like it's like kind of tongue in cheek, not acknowledging that it's silly. Whereas like,
I mean, it's sort of like an 80s action movie,
yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
whereas like yeah, like I feel like Saints Row 3 is like more like
A comedy, like a
the Lego movie sort of.
yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. Weird movie to compare it to, but it makes sense somehow. Um, so Tim, how are you liking Saints Row the Third?
The remaster is fantastic. I I decided to install the other one on Steam. I played it side by side for a minute, and oh my god, I can't believe how bad the original looks.
Really, is that good? Where are you playing the
They
remaster?
made that many improvements. Yeah, I'm playing the remaster on
No,
Steam.
but
It came out just I don't know.
a couple years ago, but you're playing it on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, that's interesting to hear. I might keep an eye out for that one on sale on Xbox if I can find it, but because I do remember really liking that game, but I just never finished
Wasn't
it.
it on Game Pass?
Oh man, maybe it was. I don't remember.
Because I'm trying to think of. I
Yeah,
don't
no, the remaster
imagine I
just
would
came
have
out in
bought it.
May. Like, it's
Oh,
only been
really?
out for like a month and a half. Yeah,
Saints
at
Row the
least to Steam,
Third?
Maybe the
anyways.
original was.
Yeah, remastered. Yeah, it only came out about a month and a half ago, at least on Steam.
Wow.
So
Saints Row. I'm just gonna look it up real quick because I could have sworn I thought it was already out on Switch even.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Whatever.
Probably no. The
I
definition was lost years ago.
so I personally have been playing. I finished Mass Effect 3. It was amazing, but I'm not gonna spend too
So
much
does that
time.
mean you're done?
So I'm done with the main trilogy. I'm still gonna play Andromeda, but Andromeda is so detached from Mass Effect from the original trilogy that like I'm gonna play Ratchet and Clank, and then I'm gonna play Andromeda. But and then also like I'm not done in the same sense that like Tim's not done because we're both gonna play Mass Effect 4 when it comes out. But I so I finished Mass Effect 3. I got the blue ending. Not gonna say any more than that because I'm still gonna lobby Ben to play those games. But
Pokemon Blue ending?
the Pokemon Blue ending. Tim, you'll know
So
which.
does that mean you picked Blastoise?
Yes. Tim, you'll know which ending the blue one is, but it was
Oh yeah.
it was incredible. I absolutely adored Mass Effect 3. I thought it was the best one of the trilogy. And then I moved on to Ratchet and Clank, started Ratchet and Clank. I'm not loving it as much as most people that I've heard talk about it really enjoyed it. Like Tim, you said you finished it in like 2 days, right?
Yeah, I finished it and 100% completed it within 2 days.
Yeah, see, I'm not
Damn.
Yeah,
that
it was a lot of fun.
I'm not that addicted to it. Like the gameplay is great, but it's like, I mean, it's a great Ratchet and Clank game, which is a great game, but I'm not just absolutely infatuated with it the way so many people are. So I don't know. Maybe like the more weapons that I open up, the better the game gets, the better the gameplay gets. So maybe that'll continue. Maybe it'll continue to be a trend, but only time will tell. But we aren't going to waste any more time.
Tim, how fast do you think you could speed run it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
How fast could I speedrun it? I mean, if I was skipping everything and knowing through the whole game now, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours. That's like without any glitches or skips.
Really?
Did you know that there's a big like speed running competition in Minneapolis every summer?
Yeah, that's Summer Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was going to go last year, but
I've been
COVID.
there. I've been there before. And I've been to AGDQ as well, which has been in Florida recently, which was also awesome.
Yeah.
So. Right. Yeah, one of my friends was just telling me about it, and I was like, I bet Tim knows about that.
Yep, I know about it. I've been there. It's fun time.
Tim, are you going this summer?
It's online this summer. They should be starting like in a week or two.
Shoot. Well, when they get started and they're streaming, send me a link, because I do think that like, while that stuff is not my jam to the sense that like, to the point that like I will do it myself, I do find it extremely interesting to watch that stuff. So send me a link when you can. But we are going to move
I will.
straight on into our topic of the show, which is wrapping up our E3 reactions. All right. So, we left off having talked about everything up through Bethesda and Xbox, and that leaves us at Square Enix Presents. Square Enix presents the kind of the heavy hitters, Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy, it looks a lot like, gameplay wise, it looks a lot like Avengers. I don't know. This one wasn't thrilling to me. Did you guys have any like? Oh, Ben, what was that?
No, it just looks like more press this button at this time.
Yeah, QTE
Stuff.
And then
it's like, I mean, it's a little more sophisticated than like old school like movie games, but still basically looks like it's a lot of timing based shit, which is not really what I would be looking for in a game that's
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim, thoughts on Guardians?
I really don't have, to be honest. It looks meh.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, it's a great, like, they were great movies, great comics, but I don't really have a care to play a game about them.
Yeah, and
some of the gameplay looks good, but it doesn't look like it would be fun.
Well, the thing, and playing Ratchet and Clank this week has really kind of opened my eyes up on Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's like, playing Ratchet and Clank, this is what a Guardians of the Galaxy game should be. like gameplay wise, this is what Guardians should feel like and should look like, and it's not at all what like Guardians looks like gameplay wise looks like Ratchet and Clank from like the PS2 era, as far as like speed and kind of clunkiness, and it like the locomotion in Ratchet and Clank is just so excellent. And Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was just saying, like I meant like graphically, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
but like it doesn't look like the controls don't look like it would be fun. It just like doesn't.
right.
It's like it looks. It's a pretty. It would be a pretty game, but not a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it's a good to look at game, but like combat wise, it looks pretty dull. So,
yeah.
Tim, I'm gonna ask you to carry some weight for me here. Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. Did you see those?
I did. And this is probably the most exciting thing that came out of their entire conference for me.
Interesting. Okay, tell me why.
I'm a huge fan of the old ones. My buddies and I have been playing through them again. We're just finishing 5 now, and we'll be moving on to 6 after. But they're just great games. Seeing them remastered and shown in actually like a good style, and hopefully having a decent port with decent translation of most of them is huge. Because it's been something that they've struggled with for 3, 4, and 5 for a while.
Yeah, so that's something that actually kind of came to mind for me. It was like, because this is Final Fantasy 1 through 6 getting a pixel remaster, and Final Fantasy 1 through 6 is already on iOS, and these games are only coming to PC and mobile. And like, you can play most of these games on PC already, and you can play all of these games on mobile already. Is there something wrong with the current ports that like these games could improve upon?
A lot of the menuing is not great. Some of this, I wouldn't exactly call it sprite work. I don't even know what you'd call it. The games don't look great.
Okay.
I don't think the iOS versions give the games that much justice, as they just don't have the right feel to it. At least in my opinion. So hopefully this does a better job. And like I mentioned earlier, with like translation and such, like you could go pick up fan translations, like from 5, for example. They've changed the main character's name a couple different times depending on the translation and the version you're playing.
Okay.
Because like in one of the original versions, his first name was Butz, Butz, but then later translations it's Bartz. So, like there's a lot of like little things like that.
So like quality of life and localization stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, and if you want to be more butts,
I would love to see some more butts. What do you got for me, Ben?
Ben, don't show us your butt. No. So
I will.
I mean, that kind of sheds a lot of light on that situation for me, because like, and that's why I was wanting to ask you, because it, like, to me personally, I'm like, I see these and I think, they're already out on iOS, so like, why are they doing this? But that makes sense now that knowing that you've played them. So, and then also we're gonna come back to Final Fantasy in just a moment. Avengers is getting a Wakanda expansion. Is that doing anything for you guys? What was that, Ben?
It's tight, bro.
All right. Tim, is that like, does that incentivize you at all to go pick this game up? I just feel like the ship has sailed.
No.
Yeah, I just feel like the ship has sailed on this one. It's like this game, it wasn't ready when it was launched. It lost so much momentum.
No,
Go ahead, Tim.
It crashed and burned. It crashed and burned hard when it launched, and I wasn't really into it to begin with.
Yeah.
and just adding more stuff to a game that's still not all that great. It just feels like another kind of No Man's Sky-esque fiasco, except that the game isn't actually getting better.
Yeah, it's not getting better. It's just they're just adding more content to it, and it's like it's. I think that this game has so many more problems. Like everything I've heard about and seen about this game. Granted, I haven't played it myself, but like it has foundational problems, not like quantity problems. It has quality problems, and no matter how much quantity you add, it's not going to fix the quality. So I don't think this game is going to make a comeback. I think that they're probably just going to have to put this one in the ground relatively soon.
It's not going to be a comeback because it never left.
That's true. No, I bet
been here for years.
I bet they put this project away by the end of the year.
Yeah, it'll probably be dependent on Wakanda sales. If it sells well, they'll probably continue with it. But if not a lot of people buy the DLC, then it's just all right. Bye, down the toilet.
Well,
something new.
It has like pretty consistently less than 500 concurrent players on Steam. And it's like, how many people are playing this on console that you guys are continuing to make content for this? I don't know. Seems odd. Okay, so and then back to Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise. Tim, again, did you see anything about this? Can you do some heavy lifting for us here?
Trying to remember what this was, the Dark Souls-esque one.
I'm pretty sure this is the one where you have to sit on your hand.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
like
you play the game.
Okay. It's like a hack and slash that ties into Final Fantasy 1. And
yeah, it's supposed to take place before the story of Final Fantasy 1. It's looks kind of like a Souls-esque game. I don't know. It looks interesting, but I think it's too dark and drab.
Yeah.
For what Final Fantasy is to me.
Okay.
It just, I don't know. It feels like they took the main characters of 15, made them look a little edgier, and it was like, all right, here's a castle, go storm it.
All right. And so you're probably not going to pick this one up.
I don't know. I probably will.
Yeah, I probably will. Tim will.
It's a Souls-esque game. I probably will.
It's a Souls-esque and it's Final Fantasy, so like.
Yeah, so yeah, I probably will play it, but yeah, I don't know. At first glance, not a whole lot to be excited about.
Ben, are you so stoked for Stranger of Paradise?
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that's a different name than you just said.
The bad guy's name is Chaos, and they say Chaos a lot in the trailer. Are you so stoked for this one? Is this going to be the game that gets you into Final Fantasy?
Yeah, probably, because I do like to sit on my hand before I play video games.
But play video games, right? Is that what you call it now? All right.
No, I'm sitting on my hand right now. See, I've been sitting on this hand.
So it feels like a stranger. No, okay, so Tim, off the cuff, what are you more excited for? Stranger of Paradise or Final Fantasy 16?
16 at this point.
Fair enough.
Do you think I'll make 16 too?
Probably. If it does well, probably.
Well, 15
do you think they'll make a Final Fantasy 32?
I mean, eventually. Probably when we're like 80 years old.
15 did pretty well, and they didn't make 15 too.
15 did not do very well.
Oh, really? I thought it was pretty well received.
Yeah, no, 15 it did not do very well. It was universally hated. The fact that they stopped their DLC production only after 3 of the 5 or 6 planned. something
wow.
along those lines. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
God,
okay.
they abandoned that game so quick.
I did not know that. I was under the impression that 15 had done pretty moderately, like been pretty moderately successful. And all right, wow.
No.
Not for one of the most successful gaming franchises of all time.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
Not up to
14.
the standards of success.
14 is having a pretty huge renaissance right now. And
Oh yeah.
like 13 was kind of a disaster, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that right, Tim? Oh, you know what, Ben? I'm going to take that back.
It wasn't.
Uh,
It sold a lot. It wasn't very well received.
Yeah.
In terms of 13.
Didn't they make 3, like 13.2 and 13.3? Didn't they make 3 of those?
Yeah, they did. The
Wow.
third one's actually pretty good. But
Really?
The other two kind of can skip, yeah.
So it's 13, and then it's Lightning Returns. And then what's the third one?
It's 13. It's 13-2, which was about Lightning's sister.
Oh,
And
okay.
then you had Lightning Returns, which was the third one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Interesting. Okay. So you're probably more excited for 16 than you are for Stranger of Paradise.
Correct.
He just
At
said
this
that.
point.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, so Ben, I believe you were doing a letter grading system. Tim, you and I were going out of 10. I'm going to give Square Enix Presents like a...
And then I was converting your...
Yeah, you were converting into letter grades. I'm going to give it like a 4. I thought it was not good.
That's
Tim?
roughly equivalent to a D.
It gets a
No,
6
no,
from
that would
me.
be a failing. That would be an F.
It got a 6 from you, Tim?
It gets a 6 from me, yeah. Like I said, the 1 through 6 pixel upgrade, like, that's huge for me. Like, I'm gonna be so excited to play through those games again. Yeah, while Stranger of Paradise isn't like super interesting to me, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
So they've got me there.
It's not 16, but it's still like, yeah, this is a new big Final Fantasy game.
Yep. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, not the worst thing that they've come out with in recent years. So
That's an argument.
The only game that they could have gotten me excited with would have been like more Hitman stuff.
They're not doing Hitman
The thing
anymore.
What?
They don't do Hitman anymore.
Oh, they don't?
No. So they terminated their partnership with IO, and IO went independent, and now IO actually independently develops and publishes. No, that's not true.
Oh.
They partnered. IO is independent, but they have been partnering with WB. Has published. This happened back after the launch of Hitman 2016. After that entire Hitman 1 was out, IO got dumped, and then WB. There are like separate copies of Hitman 2016, like the full season, the full experience. Some copies were published by Square, and other copies were published by WB. And then WB published Hitman 2 and Hitman 3.
Oh.
But
Fair enough. Well, yeah, then I just don't think there's anything that they could have gotten. So I feel like it's unfair for me to grade them because
yeah.
they just don't make games that I'm very interested in.
Tomb Raider 4. I think if they had brought Tomb Raider 4, I would have been excited.
That would have been nice to see, but
yeah.
I don't know. Eidos, have they even been doing anything lately?
Yeah. They're doing Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have a big enough team to really be working on 2 projects at once.
No, they don't. So. All right. Well, Ben, I think that's a reasonable reason to abstain from grading. All right. And then let's see. Capcom, let's just blow right by Capcom. Resident Evil Village DLC, games that already exist. That's whatever. Nintendo. So Nintendo, Kazuya was from Tekken is being added to Smash. There is one final DLC character left. How do you guys feel about Kazuya being added to Smash?
Not
Is it one of like the cool animals from Tekken?
no,
No.
he's not.
Oh. Then that's kind of disappointing. Is it? Does he have like anything cool?
He turns into a giant like bat monster.
Oh, I remember
It shoots
that,
a
dude.
laser.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool. I might,
Yeah.
I might spring for that.
I mean, I'll be playing him. I got the pack already, so I'll give him a shot. I don't
Can
know.
you
Tekken,
get him individually, or do you have to buy the whole pack?
You can get all of them individually. You don't have to
Okay.
buy just the pack.
I bought out the first pack and was like, oh wow, there's only like one character in here that I care about at all.
Yeah.
Banjo.
Banjo's good.
I feel like even with this one, the additional characters, especially in Fighter Pack 2, have not been as iconic as I would have hoped for. Like Smash
Well, I
is
think that they're panning to the Japanese market. It seems like.
Yeah, it's generally what they've been doing because that's where they're located centrally. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the bigger news that comes out of this, though, is that showcase that they showed the other day with Sakurai, with the Mii Fighter costumes, which knocked out a few characters.
Knocked out Dante.
They showed, yep, Dante is now a Mii Fighter like costume. He's not going to be in as a character. Same with Lloyd Irving, one that I was kind of hoping for. He's going to be another just Mii Fighter. There was a couple others, but those are like the two big ones to me.
Like I feel like
Wait,
Dante.
so what? Hold on, briefly explain that to me. I think I missed that.
So they decided to do their like showcase of the new character. It was like a couple days ago, rather recent, and they showed off. Hey, we've got some new Mii Fighter costumes for you if you want to buy them. And both Dante and Lloyd Irving were costumes in that pack that you could buy. And generally, when they do that, that means they're not going to be making that character an actual character. So so these two characters that a lot of people have been pulling for will not be seen as the final character.
And like
I
Dante,
see. Okay, I got confused.
I feel like Dante was like a pretty heavy favorite for the final one. Like, I mean, if you're really going to narrow it down to like
both,
3, I feel like Dante would have been top 3 for my predictions.
He
I bet it's
and
gonna be
Lloyd were
Shrek.
both towards the top of Japanese polling in recent polling. So it's obviously that they're listening to their fans. They just can't give everything that they want. So
Yeah.
but yeah, overall, interesting character. Don't think I'll be maining it, but I'll give it a try.
Fair enough. Bring your Switch next month so that we can try it too.
I don't go anywhere without it.
All right, and then before we move on from Smash, Ben, you said that you think it's going to be Shrek. Who do we think the last fighter is going to be? If it was Shrek, I would be so stoked.
That would be pretty great. God, I don't even know at this point who I'd want in. Actually, yeah, I do know who I want. Eggman. Give me Eggman.
See, but isn't he a trophy?
Is he?
I think so. Or wasn't he a boss?
I'm not sure.
In whatever that like giant campaign was. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's interesting that you would choose Eggman. Ben, video game characters. Who do you think the final fighter is going to be?
Well, as we just talked about, the Avengers are video games. No, I'm just kidding.
It's going to be Iron Man.
Exactly. No, I think it will probably not be anybody from an American developer.
All right.
Yeah, no, Patrick. He was just a spirit.
Oh, okay.
And they've used most of their IP already. I'm trying to think if there's something in their IP that has not been used. What about the Cloud dude?
Cloud? Oh,
The
Lakitu?
guy who floats on the cloud.
That's
yeah.
Lakitu. Probably not. Sorry to say. So if I were going to narrow it down to 3 of who I think it will be, it would have been Dante, but that's out. And then Master Chief, I think, is still a contender, just because of how iconic he is to video games in general. And then potentially Sora. But Sora runs into a bunch of licensing because you would have to have Donald and Goofy in there. And so...
Yeah, no way. There's no way they're making deals with Disney.
See, that's where I think that they're running into problems with Sora. So I guess I got to say, I would have said Dante, but I got to say Master Chief. So hopefully it's Master Chief. All right.
I just don't think it, but maybe.
Maybe. Coming. And then next up we had Mario Party Superstars. What did you guys think of this one? Tim, you look excited. Tell me what you thought.
I love Mario Party.
I am stoked for this one. It's like 5 or 6 maps. I don't remember
5.
which one of 5. Okay, from the original 3 Mario parties, the best 3 Mario parties, if you ask me, and 100 mini games, the 100 of the best mini games throughout the entire series. Like, I am so stoked for this, especially considering like a few of the maps they showed were Peach's Birthday Cake, one of the best maps from 1, Spaceland from 2, and Wispy Woods from 3. So like, you've got 3 of the best maps in the first 3 games. I'm just so excited for this. I am...
1 and 2 were both 64, and 3 was GameCube, right?
Nope.
3 was
also
64 as well.
So it was 1
was
through
64.
3 were 64, 4 through 7 were GameCube, 8 and 9 were Wii, 10 was Wii U, and then Super Mario Party was Switch. So, I mean, 60% of the maps, but
Mario Party's pretty fun. But
I agree with you, Ben. I think it's pretty fun. I enjoy it. Ben, like Tim, I'm assuming you're going to buy this.
Absolutely.
just want to have the fucking shake the soda can.
I remember the first time I saw that minigame, I was playing with Eric in my basement at my parents' house, and we get to the shake the soda can one, and Eric's like, oh man, I'm going to be so good at this one. And then I just smoked him. Turns out I'm a better masturbator than Eric. So Tim's going to buy it. Tim's super stoked. Ben, how do you feel about Mario Party Superstars?
I tend to buy all of the like
Offshoot Mario games
on my Switch, so I'll probably buy it. Like I haven't bought golf yet, but I'm probably going to. Like I was watching somebody hit an eagle at 3 a.m. on Twitter the other day, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun.
Just probably fucking stoned out of your mind at 3 a.m. Just playing Mario Golf.
Well, no, they were just commenting on how they had. They were commenting on how they had done it at 3 a.m. I was up watching
okay.
it at 3 a.m.
Okay. That makes for a less funny story, but still a good story. So you think you'll probably crack for this one?
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Like, they're always fun to play with, like, groups of people.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like, I'm sure that I'll buy this too. My question is though, is that like $60 and it's a whole different game, whereas like Super Mario Party was very thin on content. Like, this could have easily been a $40 DLC for Super Mario Party. And I would have felt so much better about enhancing the game that I've already got and spending more money on the game that I've already got than buying a whole nother game.
Yeah, but Tim says it's the best. It's the best maps. So I think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I know Super Mario Party hasn't been super well received. I mean, people have liked it, but they haven't loved it. So I gotta give Nintendo props for kind of abandoning it and like, hey, let's try this again. Let's try and get that old Mario Party feel. Figure out what it was that fans actually loved about these games so that the next time we make one, we can do it justice. And
well, that I
props to them
feel
on
like
that.
some of there was a little bit too much randomness in some of the mini games, even
In Super Mario Party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that.
No,
So it was almost just like, yeah,
It-
well, and then like Jill just learned how to benefit from the randomness, and so Jill just won all of them basically because Joe would just play them.
yeah,
solo.
and yeah, she would just sit there and play Mario Party solo, and that's just retarded. But like, I like, I don't know. I feel a little bit burned because because granted it was gifted to me, but it's like Mario Party, it was $60, right? Super Mario Party was. And the entire time I have felt like this, like the content that is there is good, but it's not $60 good. And I like, if they had let me do, like if they had sold all of this content to me for this, like Mario Party Superstars, like for like $30 or $40 for DLC, which by the way, it's all running in the Super Mario Party engine. Had they sold it to me for like $30 or $40 as DLC, then suddenly I would have felt like Super Mario Party was a very quality package for $100 or for like $80, $90. I would have felt like that's a really high quality package. But
yeah, but like then what about all the people who didn't buy Super Mario Party and then they have to drop $100?
yeah, I guess that's a good point. God, I see, and that kind of addresses the thing that I was getting to is like Mario Party. It really needs to just be a platform that they add to periodically, so that like, you know, you can buy in at any point you want, and you can buy the base stuff, and then you can buy like, oh, I want to buy the, you know, Mario Party 1 through 3 pack. I want to buy the Mario Party, you know, 4 through 7 pack. But like Mario Party just it needs to be Mario Party Ultimate in the same way that Smash is Smash Ultimate, and just include everything, or at least work up to including everything. Because as it is, like selling me 5 boards and 100 mini games for $60, I just feel ripped off, and I feel like they can get away with this one more time. But if they try and do this again in a few years, I'm going to say right now that I'm not going to buy it, but I'm sure I will. But like, I'm not going to be happy about it. Unless Mario Party Superstars really kicks ass, which according to Tim, it's going to. So I
expect it to.
I mean, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm always excited for more Mario Party. Mario Party is just stupid fun. But I'm just a little bit. I'm
sure that one of
sandy.
the mini games will be the one where you roll around the snowball on the top of the mountain, right? That'll probably
Correct.
be included.
I think they actually showed that in the trailer.
That's
even.
like one of the funnest mini games that I ever remember playing.
And they'll probably do the skateboarding one too.
Oh yeah, I find it hard to imagine that one will be left out. Honestly, I would be very surprised if most of the mini games aren't the mini games from the Mario 100, Super Mario Party 100 that they did on the 3DS a while back.
Yeah, which is like they've already done this. They're just doing it right and taking more of our money. Granted, I didn't buy the Mario Party Top 100 when it was on 3DS, but like, I don't know. It just feels, and I'm really typically not one to say this, but it just feels very. It just feels like they're nickel and diming me with Mario Party. But the thing is Mario Party is so fun when you have 4 people or more that like they can nickel and dime me, and I'm gonna pay $60 for 5 boards.
Well, that's the thing is like 4 people have fun for one night for $60. That's less. That's like basically how much 4 people it would cost to take 4 people to the movies.
Yeah, but I'm the one paying for it. That's I mean, that's a good point, Ben. That's a very good way to break it down. Is like 4 people have fun for one night, it's the movies. 4 people have fun for 2 nights, it's gravy, right? Like suddenly you're at $7.50 per person per night. That's a pretty good deal, I guess.
Gravy.
That is a really good way to think about it.
Now I'm hungry. Why did you mention gravy?
Yeah, go get some mashed potatoes and gravy. Talk to Chris. He made them for Jillian when she was drunk and she never forgot it. All right, WarioWare, get it together. Anyone have any strong feelings about WarioWare?
I played them.
I remember the one on GameCube was fun.
I mean, like, full disclosure, I've never played a WarioWare game, so I might play this one. The one on 3DS, the last one.
They're all just fun, gimmicky mini games.
Yeah. The last one on 3DS looked really funny just with like the way Wario would draw himself versus like the way Wario drew everyone else was just really funny. And so they look more like really what I think that I'll probably get this, but it looks like if I do, I'll be getting it for the laughs, but instead of like the silly mini games. Ben, are you at all intrigued by this one enough to buy it?
I honestly did not watch anything about it, but I mean, maybe. That's like the game they've always been fun games to just play. It's another game that's fun to play in a group.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Definitely.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
smooth moves with me at the end of July.
Yeah. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. We already had a trailer and a release date for this, but they just reiterated coming to Switch on 6/25. It's out. I have it. It's awesome. It's such a good port. So if you guys are looking into getting that game and you want it portably, it's like Switch ports have kind of been one of two things. They've either been like basically the exact game, just low res, bad textures, basically worse graphics, or worse graphics and they run like dog shit. This is the former, which is awesome because like Pro Skater is definitely a game that requires the frame rate to be pretty steadily and to be like pretty steady and consistent, and it's a great port. I can't recommend it enough. I know that I'm probably the one that's far and away the most into Tony Hawk, so we will just move right on to Tim.
Can you put on the the unlimited balance or the perfect balance?
Yes, you can.
Nice.
So, Ben, you didn't buy it. You didn't end up buying it on Xbox, did you?
No, I haven't bought it on anything.
Same. I haven't picked it up either.
Do you guys have any interest at all?
I mean, if I want to play it,
Switch now.
I have it on PlayStation. I can just go over to my shelf and play it. Not one of those games that like ever rung true with me. So
Yeah. Ben, what were you saying about Switch?
I might get it on Switch.
It plays really, really well. It's like surprisingly good. So, all right, then Tim blew his load because now we're getting to Metroid Dread. All right, Tim, take it away. Tell us how you feel about this game.
yeah, like that's not even an understatement. I pretty much jizzed my pants when I saw this. This was absolutely like, all right, it's not Metroid Prime 4 that I'm looking for, but this is just as good, if not better, right?
Really?
Now, because it's actually going to be playable this year.
Yeah, it's not just
I'm
a
not going
logo.
to have to wait any longer for another Metroid game.
Do you prefer
And it's
2D
by
or
the
3D?
same. Personally, my favorite is Super Metroid, so I do prefer the 2D. But the Prime games are phenomenal. Like I love playing through 1 and 2. 3's kind of meh, but you know. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. It's supposed to be kind of a continuation or prequel to Fusion. I don't remember what they said about it.
It's the end. This is Metroid 5.
It
is the end of Samus's story,
The end of it. Yep.
which is kind of crazy to me.
Is the end of the side scroller story?
So Metroid
Supposedly.
Prime takes place between. Is it between Metroid and Metroid 2, or is it between 2 and Super? But all Metroid Prime 1, 2, and
Something
3
like that.
all take place between 2 of the earlier games. And then this one, Metroid Dread, is the end of like, and they announced Metroid Dread back in like 2003 or something like that. So like they announced this game a long time ago, and they even said when they announced it, like, this will be the end of Samus's story, and they even like reiterated that in the Nintendo Treehouse after the Direct, that like they're still planning on this being the end of the story between Samus and the Metroids. So like I think that kind of leaves the door open to maybe they'll make more games with Samus, just not with Metroids. But I think that this will be a very interesting thing, because basically, as far as like Nintendo franchises go, the big 3 are Mario, Zelda, and Metroid. And it'll be interesting because they're never going to end Mario, because Mario isn't really a story. But I do think that this will give us a pretty good idea, or be a pretty good indication of
the people.
What's that?
Oh, never mind.
Okay. I think that this will be a pretty good indication of like, they're going to end Zelda eventually. And like, this will give us an idea of how they might go about doing that. So, then
there's still plenty of time that they could make other games in between Metroid
Right.
1 and Dread.
Well, I mean, they already have
like
Prime 4.
Timeline stuff aside, I am super excited about the feel of this game. I like that they're going for more of a horror motif, like what they did with Fusion. Like it just reminded me so much of AX chasing you through the station. And I'm really excited that we're going to be seeing more of that. The only thing I'm not super keen on is that they're bringing back the melee counter.
I was going to ask you about
Samus
that
Returns,
because I know that a lot of people
they,
disliked that.
That was. I didn't care for it. I thought it was fine for a one-off. I'm not sure if I like the idea of carrying it forward. But who knows? Maybe it'll grow on me again this time. Maybe they'll make it a little bit more precise. Because it's the same studio that did the Samus Returns
Right.
remake. So
yeah, and that seems to have kind of been a test bed for them of like, we're gonna see if you can do it with a remake, and then if you can, guess who gets to finally make Metroid Dread. And so
yep.
I think that with the larger analog stick, I think that controls in Metroid Dread will be significantly better than Samus Returns. I don't know. Every time I play a Metroid game, I think I don't really like Metroid, but then a new one comes out, and I think maybe I'll like it this time. So I'm probably gonna play this, but who knows? I might not. I don't know. I'm probably gonna play it the day it comes out. Fuck me. Ben, any interest in Metroid Dread?
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Probably
Oh.
not, but maybe.
All right. And then they closed the show with more information on The Legend of Zelda, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. They said that they will not tell us the name because the name will reveal too much about the plot of the game, which I think it's like, okay, then what? When are you going to announce the game? Because if it's going to spoil the story,
The Fall of Hyrule.
I mean, if it's going to spoil the story,
Yeah.
then like,
There
are you
might be
going
a
to tell
clue
us?
to, change the title a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're gonna have to announce the title before the game comes out. And so whether it's now or in 6 months, you gotta announce it. And so like
Yep.
Zelda, this is the one where Zelda dies.
that would be a good title. You should work for Nintendo. They said that they're aiming for a 2022 release, which to me just screams spring 2023.
So then they don't need to tell us the title.
Why?
Considering we haven't
2022. That's a long time.
Yeah, it's true. Tim, what were you going to say?
Considering we really haven't seen a whole lot of the game, we haven't seen gameplay demos, we've only seen a couple trailers. 2023 is possible. I'd think end of 2022. Like holiday, that might be what they're trying to slot in there.
Yeah.
But until we get a release date, until we see the title, I can't really say much more on that. But I will say that the trailer did look really cool. Some of Link's new powers looked awesome. He's freaking Ash Williams now from Evil Dead 2 because he's got his robotic
He's got
arm.
that arm, yeah. Yeah. The floating islands looks cool. I mean, the floating islands, I think, is going to be the change of like to the map that I was really hoping we would get, because I was so worried that it was just going to be the same map again.
Yeah, that was a lot of my concern, and I hope they kind of go back to more of a dungeon system versus what we had with the.
I still want shrines, but
Shrine beasts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same. But like, I want to be immersed in a dungeon for like 3 or 4 hours as I'm like solving puzzles.
There's not dungeons. I'm probably not going to play it.
Yeah, you weren't ever real hot on Breath of the Wild 1.
Correct.
So, I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. It's just a matter of like, I didn't love Breath of the Wild. I know that that's kind of heresy, but like,
You're just dying, but you have cooled. since. I feel like initially when it came out, you were pretty into it.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I put about 160 hours into it, but like, I always, I've always had problems with it. And even when I was like at the peak of my enjoyment with it, I still would have told you, I still like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. I still like all of those games better than Breath of the Wild. And now I would even include like,
Yeah,
what's that?
I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, now I would even put like Minish Cap, Link's Awakening, Link Between Worlds, Link to the Past. Like all of those games go on that list ahead of Breath of the Wild. So I don't know. I guess I'm just not as excited for this game as most people, even though I'm very excited for this game because Zelda is my favorite series. So we'll just I think the fact that they say we're aiming for a 2022 release, to me, that just, I feel like they're aiming for it, but what they're going to hit is 2023. All right. Well,
It's very possible.
Yeah. So out of 10, I'm going to give Nintendo a 7. I thought Nintendo did pretty well. Tim?
They get about an 8 from me.
Okay.
While we did talk about a lot of the stuff that I was interested in, there was still a lot of stuff in there that wasn't exactly for me.
Yeah.
Like Shin Megami Tensei 5, I might play, but not super stoked on it. Advance Wars, people tell me it's a great series. Nothing I've ever played. Probably nothing I ever will play. It's not my style of game. And yeah, there were just a few other things in there that were just like, all right, cool, Nintendo, good for you, but you're not helping me any.
Yeah, I mean there was something for everyone in there, which kind of leads to not a whole lot for anyone. And so like instead of getting like a 45-minute balls to the wall like, "Oh my god, this is amazing conference," it was like there are a few things I'm pretty into in this, and one of them was the trailer for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that's out in a few days, and I've already played, I've already seen the trailer, I've already, like it's I actually, Tim, you're kind of talking me down. I think I'm going to give him a 6. Ben, can you convert a 6 into grades for me?
That would be a D.
All
a
right.
D plus probably.
D plus. Okay, so I'll give him a D plus. Ben, what about you? What are you going to give Nintendo?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that they are not failing, but they're not excelling.
Yeah.
So D seems pretty reasonable.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, we're gonna cover the Sony topics next week because we're about out of time. But we're gonna real quick.
Well, and they weren't actually at E3, right?
We're gonna what?
They weren't technically at E3, right?
No, they weren't. But they had some acquisitions that kind of raised some eyebrows this week. So, but we'll discuss those next week. But before we go, we're going to do the weekly trivia challenge. All right. This week's trivia challenge. In the early days of the franchise, Insomniac used sexual innuendos for the subtitles of their Ratchet and Clank games. Which of these was not a Ratchet and Clank subtitle? Was it A, Going Commando, B, Size Matters, C, Quest for Booty, or D, Coming Together? Ben, I'm going to call on you first.
Quest for Booty.
All right, Quest for Booty, final answer?
Yeah.
Tim?
What were B and D again?
B was Size Matters, and D was Coming Together.
I want to say Coming Together, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I'll lock it in.
Lock it in at D, Coming Together. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, good job. You're getting a point because I thought Coming Together would sound like a multiplayer game that is also, you're coming together. So I made that one up. The Going Commando, Size Matters, and Quest for Booty were all actual Ratchet and Clank games. Size Matters was a PSP game, so they were playing on that, the whole, portable aspect of it. Going Commando was their second game, and then Quest for Booty was part of the Ratchet and Clank Future subseries. So that's all we've got for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, make sure to subscribe and leave us a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you found us on. You can see everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. We'll be back next week talking about whatever happens within the next 7 days. So until then, reset. And we're going to talk about Sony.